Whose army were you in?
German army, Kaiser Wilhelm II.
Were you a good soldier?
Do not ask me. I rather want to be in the picnics than in the army. Not for me.
Why did you leave Germany then?
Because I was fed up of this militarism, you know, and regimentation. Not only this, but I did smell the second disaster coming, the Second World War, so I just moved out, as long as the moving was good. Canada appealed to me, the open spaces, and I came from a congested country, you know, and I wanted a garden, I wanted a piece of land, I wanted to enjoy nature. And in the meantime, the family did grow, so there was no time or hunting around for somewhere else, so I stuck here. When many people live, why should I not live?
Paul, how long have you and Hilda been married?
I really did not count the years. I am so happy I did not count the years. I do not know. I would have to look the documents.
53 years.
53 years.
About.
Were you married in Germany?
Yeah.
Oh, in Austria, actually.
Hilda, what did you do at that point?
Teaching piano.
Were you a good piano player?
I was fair.
What was unique about this man? Or was there anything? Was he different?
I cannot very well answer that.
He looks rather intense in the photographs, was he?
Oh, always, yes.
Did you realize your dreams?
To a certain extent, yeah. But the dreams are always greater than the realization of the dreams. But that is no matter. I am satisfied and contented as the things developed, you know, with my help, you know, and without my help.
Now we will have the Amazing Grace.
At Niagara Falls every spring, with the return of the blossoms to the orchards of the peninsula, people gather from hundreds of miles around to celebrate the renewal of life.
Almighty God, we ask you to bless these newborn flowers, bring to maturity these flowers, so that plentiful may be the fruits that result.
Can we have the gas man move out of the picture area, please? But watch me.
Let the gas man back in.
There we are.
Blossoms may be Canadian, but most of the bands and beauty queens are imported for the occasion.
Just chop it over. We'll keep that for later. Give me a flower top, okay? Don't open it yet, Howard. Don't open it yet. Sorry. Okay. Get a little warm.
The chefs of Niagara gather for culinary combat. The food is international. The only rule in the battle is that the wines must be made in Ontario.
Gabriel won it last year.
We lost your sound.
What a sound. What a sound. Please bear with us. We don't have no sound. I'm not too sure about the pronunciation of the last word, but I pronounce it fabi. Is that right, or fabi?
It's Fabby.
Fabby. Gabriel won the Chefs of Niagara competition last year, so he is here competing this year, and of course, trying to win back his trophy that he had last year. What is your main entree, Gabriel? What is going with your main entree? Let's put it this way. What are you going to serve with your main entree tonight?
Tonight, this is the stuffed lobster a la Gabrielle, like I said, with the broccoli, spears, and asparagus, braised celery, and Duchess tomatoes.
We have made onion rings in a beer batter, shrimp in coconut and beer batter, lobster in a wine batter.
Thank you, Mr. Diodati. Are most of these creations your own, or these creations come from your thoughts, and have you created these creations that you're cooking this evening?
I have them in a recipe form.
Master Chef's Award, it's number 5, the Skyline Tower.
This is a farmer's kitchen. It is not an exhibition place, you know. It's a place of living.
Yeah, what do you have there?
This is Austrian pumpkin seed. It is ground as a food supplement, high protein content, and all the other vitamins and what have you, you know. If you eat this seed, you know, you are all right. The doctor will not see you and you will not see him. And this is not medication, this is eating, natural eating. Here you are.
What is it?
This is fennel.
Well, what do you eat now?
You eat the whole thing.
And what does it do for you?
It does, like any other vegetable. Particularly, it has a tasty flavor, you know, and appealing to the eye, you know. It is cut in salads, in whatever you want, you know.
It tastes like licorice.
Yeah, you can make tea out of it, whatever you want.
What vitamin is in this now?
No, I cannot say exactly vitamin, you know. The plant was used before even vitamin came into the...
This was here before vitamins?
Before in the mind of man, you know. And anything you cook, you kill the enzymes, or you fool yourself all the time.
So you should eat this raw?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Most vegetables you should eat raw.
You don't use any chemical fertilizers at all now?
No, no. No.
No pesticides?
No, this is for the godless people. Never mind. There is no scientist on earth that can convince me or any sound mind that if you take poisoning that it is good for you.
Every fall, Paul Lipinski harvests some 30 varieties of grapes. The farm is a laboratory for him, and for many years he's been experimenting with the growing of hybrid grapes developed in other countries to improve the quality of wines.
These are the hybrid grapes, you know.
You split them, do you? I mean, you do the blues, then you do the reds?
It's not necessary, but if you want to keep colors apart and flavor apart, and if you want to have some adventure in it, you know, you keep them separate as far as possible. Or you can put everything together and do not ask questions. Wine is wine, grape juice is grape juice, no matter what color. It will be amber, it will be blue, or whatever there is.
Paul was growing these hybrid grapes when others said it couldn't be done because the Canadian climate was too severe. Now these hybrids are replacing native varieties throughout the Ontario wine industry.
That's it. That's the end of it. This is how it looks.
Using the skills of a master vintner, Attained through 40 years of experience, Paul makes 5 or 6 varieties of red, white, and sparkling wines.
This is my drink, morning, night, anytime. Hot and cold.
He matures his wine underneath his barn, stored in a cool place among his tools and winter supply of vegetables. Like most Europeans, wine is a way of life for Paul and his friends, and when they get together, they are merciless critics of each other's latest vintage.
Have this one.
Okay.
There you
So, prosit.
go. Is this how you save?
Yeah.
Salud.
Salud or Portuguese, whatever you want. Prosit.
I think your wine tastes better, Paul.
I'm not here to criticize, you know. No, goody, it is better than aqua, you know. But all right.
Very well. Let's sit down. Nothing like roughing it, you know. Who? Where's the Jewish pickles? The stubs. Are these the stub pickles? These are the pickles with no vinegar, just salt. Do you think I did a good job?
So always everybody put trouble into his neighbor, you know, to make a living. And they call it progress or whatever you want to call it. But it's silly to me, very silly. And the American importing to Canada before the Canadian grower has a chance to grow. And he's ruined, and so it goes on. Ruination all the way.
Strawberries aren't ready yet. We're talking April. Berries aren't ready. Our berries aren't going to be ready till about the 15th of June.
You can see every year.
So they start bringing the berries in cheap now from California or Mexico. They really hit the stores. The people, they go and they pay a long buck for berries. When our berries are ready, they've lost the taste for that long dollar. They want to wait until the price comes down. So our farmer now, he's worked so long, he gets them to market, but they don't want to pay the price that they are. She'll wait then after a week or two where he's like this, he's got to sell the berries and the price comes down.
Yeah, the same is said of me too. Anytime I come to market, I say a price. Oh, the lady says, oh, almost get on her hind legs.
Hamilton Market on a Saturday morning. Niagara fruit has been sold here since 1820.
And too many people have the idea that farmers want an unreasonable rip-off. We have the do-gooders who say, keep that land. But they're the same ones that'll be on the picket line saying, I want cheaper peaches, or I want cheaper something else, or they'll be writing the Prime Minister saying, what in the hell does that Minister of Agriculture think he's doing?
Canadians expect this fruit to be available, but give little thought to the land it grows on or to the problems of the growers.
A carrot that is long, in 2 days it gets rubber, you know, in rubber and you throw it out. This has a certain solidity, you know, and
big one.
Yeah, and this is for the winter, you know. So do not use any vegetables that are imported thousands of miles.
Why do we import all our carrots when we can grow them like this here?
You know, this is what they call the economical nonsense, you know, or whatever you may call it, you know, importing things that we already have here. I cannot sell my tomatoes on the market because imported tomatoes at the same time. Now, what can I do?
I think it's most important that we keep these people in production in Canada, but we must make sure that we don't have somebody standing up and yelling, I can get cheaper peaches or cheaper vegetables over in the United States, why don't I bring them in? But we don't do that with any other part of our society, and if we're going to say your area bill. The Niagara area must stay for agriculture. We're not going to ask those people to live in a substandard way we wouldn't subject peasantry to. We've used our energy here to produce our commodity. We've used our fertilizer. We've used our irrigation, our diesel, our gasoline, all this other energy that's involved in manufacturing these machines and that. And yet we're wasting more energy by bringing a distress crop from the southern United States someplace that brings it up. It makes it uneconomical for the producer. And many times the consumer doesn't get the benefit of that.
Hi, Nick!
Every Wednesday, Al Very buys fruit from the importers at the Toronto Fruit Exchange.
What the hell? It's only money.
He goes from stand to stand, comparing prices, haggling, joking, and making deals.
More nerve than Big Tracy. Yes. Here, some fish.
Come in, they gotta be fresh.
What do you want for shallots today? Now you're going to want my business. Now I'm going to give you some business.
No, now you're going to give me.
Now I'm going to give you some business. I want to go. I'm late. I had trouble this morning.
Why?
Well, I got in all kinds of problems, and I'm late. I got to go.
How did you get in problem?
You're a good boy.
What, your truck break down?
No, I ripped my pants right from here to here.
You ripped your
Don't worry, this is nothing. This is nothing. Where's the peppers? Got any good peppers?
California large only.
Where? Bravo? That's California label? Mexican. Like right now, I would think right today, I would think about 95% of our sales are imported. We've got pears from Italy, apples and pears from France. We've got papayas from Hawaii. Avocados are coming from Florida and California. They're bringing tomatoes from the Canary Islands. Last year we had onions from Australia. No part of this world is too far.
And the worst thing that can happen to a nation is to be solely dependent on a product from some other nation or a big percentage of it that you have no productivity in your own country.
For instance, we had an earthquake in California, and like they're predicting it's going to happen one day. Not only are we going to have a tremendous loss of life, but all the food that we are pretty well selling right now means that we won't be getting, because all the irrigation systems will be all upset. The whole system will be upset. Maybe the irrigation won't be, but maybe they can't get fuel, or maybe they can't ship it out on their trains. Any little factor in that chain breaks, and the people do not get food. These look nice, Lino. The 36s, Lino, or 24s? $3. What do you want for Indian River grapefruit this morning?
We all out.
You're out.
So. Nima.
You got a Nima?
Nima.
You speak pretty good Italian for a Nima. I think we're in a food shortage right now. People say we are. It can't be. We've got all kinds of food. But I'm going to say this. As long as you're making middle income or high middle income money, or living, then you've got plenty of food, because if the pepper or the tomato or whatever goes up, you don't think about it because you're making pretty good money. But if you drop below middle income and you can't afford to buy, then you really have a food shortage. In the Depression, if you had money, there was no such a thing as a food shortage.
Merchandise is very short. Get it today.
I know, you want to keep the price all the time going up, so you want to sell when it feels bad if it goes down.
I wanted to go down. I got to go to the store and buy the stuff myself.
It's just as important to pay a man to pick peaches or grapes or harvest any food product, or maybe more so important, than it is to fabricate a car, a refrigerator, a television, and he should get just as much money.